On this second part of Category 1, here you've got some calculator tips. We didn't really talk about store or changing your entry, except for to choose relation. If you would like to practice with that in class, you can. We did talk about quadratics, where we have roots, solutions, x-intercepts, and zeros. We have a vertex, and our axis of symmetry is the x value of that vertex. And then we had vertex form, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Remember, insiders lie. And then an answer to a quadratic or a parabola, meaning our roots, our solutions, our zeros, and our x-intercepts. So when we graph, we're looking for where those values cross the x-axis. In a table, we're looking for where y is 0. And then when we do our math, we can factor it, either using an X puzzle or some other method where we had AC and we have B. So they're going to be different, and we can say +1 and -3, which is where we got this. If we set those equal to 0, we can then get our roots, which can be written as coordinates, or we can write them as a set of values. So here we're going to do the we do, and then you're going to do the you do. So it says find the area of the shaded region in the picture. So we know we have to find the area of the whole thing and the area of the middle, and then we're going to have to subtract them. So I'm going to have to do 2x times 2x minus 1. So 4x squared, because I'm distributing, minus 2x. If I do box, you can do box, you can do FOIL, you can multiply x plus 5 times x plus 1. I'm going to go ahead and do FOIL. So I get x squared plus x plus 5x plus 5. This combines to be 6x. And then I know that I need to subtract these. So I'm going to say minus x squared. And then I'm going to have to minus my 6x, and I'm going to have to minus my 5. Because essentially what I'm doing here is I'm taking this whole thing and I'm timesing it by a negative. So I have 3x squared minus 8x minus 5, which is a. On this next one, which is equivalent, so this is going to be where you're factoring. So you can remember on a cross puzzle we have a and c and b. Now this one, a is 2, so we're going to have to do the swing method. So 2 times -15 is -30, b is 13. Now because b is positive, that means our signs are the same, and AC is negative, so they're both, they're going to be different because this is negative. And we need the bigger one to be a positive, so I have a positive and a negative. So I'm going to have a -2 and a +15. So I can write x minus 2 times x plus 15, and then don't forget about your a. So we have to divide by a. X, 2 over 2 is 1. This does not simplify nicely, so we're going to swing our a for 2x plus 15. So this is going to be a as well. And then finally, again, we're factoring here. Notice that b is 0. This is a perfect square, and this is a perfect square. So if you flip to the front on your formula chart, it's a difference of 2 squares. So we could actually use the shortcut if you wanted. You could also, on both of these, you could graph this and you could graph this and make sure it overlaps. So I'm going to take the square root of both of these. The square root of 9x is 3x. It's a minus, so my signs are going to be different. Square root of 16 is 4. So it can't be this one because the signs are the same, and again, the signs are the same. It won't work. They have to be the same values. It has to be b. So what I was saying about checking it in the calculator, if I start a new document, I can graph this, and I can say 9x squared minus 16. I can graph that. And if I hit tab, I can graph these factors, 3x plus 4 times 3x minus 4. And again, again, you're going to see it overlap, so we're good to go. So I would like you to try the UDO, and then when you come back, I'm going to show you the answers. So welcome back. It says the rectangular wall is 4x minus 5 units high and 2x minus 7 long. Which polynomial best represents area? So we know area is length times width, so I have a length of 4x minus 5 and a width of 2x plus 7. If you wanted to draw a picture, you could do that as well. So we can use FOIL, we can use box. So 4x times 2x is 8x squared. 4x times 7 is 28x. Minus 10x minus 35. We can collect like terms. It's going to be plus 18x minus 35. So look at them carefully because the signs are going to be an issue. No, not this one, because of that. This one looks good. Double check. This is wrong and this is wrong. So it has to be B. Which expression is a factor of x squared minus 12x plus 36? This is again one of those those on your formula chart. You can do a cross puzzle here if you prefer. Remember, cross puzzle works every single time. So this is going to be, the sign in the middle this is negative, and this is a positive. So this is going to be, since C is positive, they're going to be the same. It's going to be negative 6 and negative 6. So we can write x minus 6 quantity squared, which is A. And again, here, same difference of 2 squares. X minus 3, x plus 3. Or again, you can do a cross puzzle. Negative 9 and 0 means that we're going to have negative 3 and a positive 3. So which expression is a factor? The only one with a 3 is A. So I would like you to do, on the next page, these few released questions. And the last section on Category 1 is going to be exponential. So again, there's a store. We didn't do that in class. It's not something we practice. Here I have exponential. So remember, a 0 exponent is always equal to 1. If it's a negative exponent, it goes in the denominator. If we're multiplying the same exponent, or the same base, which is A in this case, we add the exponent. A power to a power, you're just distributing, which means you're multiplying, and dividing means you're subtracting. Now remember, you do not have to memorize these because they are all right here on your formula chart. Okay? So just make sure you apply the rules carefully. So again, the we do, you do. Which expression is equivalent to 9x squared? This is, okay. Minus, so remember this is a negative 1. So I'm going to write them vertically. So a negative 1 times 2x is a negative 2x squared, and a negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3. So notice I don't have an x here. So I can, these are like terms, so I'm just looking at my coefficients. 7x squared minus 4x plus 2 is C. Here, we're distributing, which is the same as multiplying, so that means we're going to add the exponents. So 3x times 2x squared, 3 times 2 is 6. This is x to the first, 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, 1, and this is a 1, so x squared. And then 21x. So again, look carefully. It looks like it's going to be, nope, not going to be B. This apparently has a typo. It should be B, where this is a squared. I apologize for that. I will go back in and fix that. And then here, which one is equivalent? So we're dividing here, so we're going to subtract. Now make sure on your coefficients you're just simplifying. So 16 over 8, this is 2 over 1. And I have 4 minus 2 is 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now this is a tricky one. I have z to the negative 8 minus a negative 2. And a minus minus is a plus. So I get z to the negative 6, which is going to go in the bottom. So the only one that shows that is going to be A. Now, if you really wanted to, you could also list all of these out. You could say x to the 4th, y to the 6th, 4, 5, 6. And then I have x squared, and I have y. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You need to realize that if it's negative, it actually goes in the bottom. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if it's a negative in the bottom, it actually goes in the top. So I can cross all of these out, and I can see I have 1, 2 x's left, 1, 2, 3 y's, and then I have 6 z's on the bottom. So I'd like you to try the you-do, and then there's 3 EOC release questions, and I will see you in class tomorrow.